Alright guys, here we are for another Mad Dog EDC video. Well, today's going to be a long one, guys, and there's not really much I can do about it. It's going to be long because we are talking about EDC bags. Now, we're going to talk, today is going to be your, not really a get-home bag, but it's going to be more just an EDC tool bag and EDC survival bag. Now, some of what we're going to talk about is going to delve into the get home style part of this. So you could kind of use this as that. But this is just kind of my thoughts on the EDC bag kind of setup. Now, what you're going to put in it is obviously going to be determined by the size of the bag. I mean, you can go all out and have a gigantic 70-liter hiking bag if that's what you want, or something like this Maxpedition Condor 2, which is just a 25-liter bag. And then I have some other stuff attached to it, but you basically have your large pocket. Of course, with all Maxpedition bags, you have this hidden pocket for your concealed carry. You have the pocket on the top, and then the pocket on the front with a little bit of organization there. And I have the Triad admin pouch attached to the front of it there. You could go with something this size right here, and this was my EDC bag for a while. I have a video up of that bag. You can kind of see, and a lot of the stuff that I have here kind of hidden on the sides of the table that we're talking about, that we will talk about, a lot of that was inside this bag. So something to think about. You could go with something like the Maxpedition look. This is the smaller one. You have just a wide open main pocket. It's got some Velcro stuff on the inside, so you could put some organization there. And then just a front pack with some organization there. You could go with something simple as that. Currently, the stuff that I do have is in this Moab 2 from 511. This is an 18-liter bag. You have your main pouch at the front. You have your main pocket there. There's a little bit of a, like a sunglasses type pocket here. You have this pocket on the strap, and then you have a concealed carry pocket in the back. I have some 511 pouches there. I have a sheath for my Gerber strongarm, and this just some small Leatherman tools that I have in there. 511, always be ready. I do have this bag in my truck, and I went ahead and I dumped it and put some of the, its contents out here. But that bag is nowhere near full. This is really what got me going on this video is I needed to downsize the bag. I needed to get the stuff that I do carry into something smaller. We'll go over what that's going to be here in a little bit. And then I posted something about EDC bags on the page, and people were kind of shocked that I didn't carry an EDC bag. So I'm going to kind of rework it a little bit and see from there. If you wanted to go something less gray man, here I've got a snap-on backpack. You could just go with like a regular Walmart JanSport. You got a deep pocket there. This is just another pocket here. There's a small non-padded sunglass pocket, and then your larger pocket, and you have room for like a laptop sleeve there. But this is kind of more gray man. It's not really the tactical style. This would make a really nice backpack. You got a spot there for some water on both sides. So that's a good backpack there. About a good size. It's probably in the 18-liter, 15 to 18-liter size. Good backpack for EDC. Doesn't really scream, oh my goodness, this guy's a loot drop. You know what I'm saying? One of my best videos on YouTube, my long form videos besides shorts, is the Maxpedition Jumbo kit that I had made. This is a jumbo pocket organizer, or the large pocket organizer. I'm pretty sure it's the jumbo. And this kit here is probably one of my better producing videos on YouTube. So you could go with something like this here. That is another great option. Something else you can do, if you want to go smaller, is this is the Maxpedition EDC pocket organizer. Again, this would be a good tool bag, along with that jumbo would be a great tool bag to put some various items in, to slip that down inside a regular backpack, your laptop bag, something like that. This is a good size for that. This is the Maxpedition TC3, so we're getting smaller and smaller here, as you can see. This is actually my fire kit for when I go camping. I've got a Ziploc bag with some tinder in there. I have a very large ferrocerium rod. I've got your Harbor Freight magnesium striker rod there. This is the pocket bellow. If I can get the tube open. An amazing thing. I joke around and I call it the Campfire Turbo 3000. You can force a lot of air through this right here down to the base of the fire. If you're using something like this and you have it down at the base of the fire, make sure after you blow, you do not inhale through the straw. Otherwise, you're going to get all that nice heat up into your lungs, and it's not going to feel good. But this is almost a must for me. Like, after, you know, I could get a fire going without this thing, but this right here is just going to get it going hot. Especially if what you're using has the least little bit of moisture in it. And then I have some of this waxed twine that, like, it's actually the Baddest Bee fire fuse. It works pretty good. Not bad at all. I have a T-shank saw in there, and that is basically just another striker. If for some reason I didn't have my belt knife, fixed blade, something like that. So you could go with something this small as just a small kit in your bag, or just to have in your vehicle. Either way, it would work pretty good. No, buddy, I don't need that one. I got my son here watching me make this video. That one's not going on here. That's for something else. So that's pretty good, just kit size right there. I used the Maxpedition TC2 as my cell phone case. It's got a carpenter's pencil, got a Sharpie in there, so really good option right there, just for a small case. And what we're going to be building my EDC kit out of today is I'm going to go back to my neatfreak organizer. This has an attachment point on the back here, but you can open it up and it's got a pocket, that full-size pocket right there. Of course, you have some Velcro field here. You got some MOLLE. You got a little slip there. Open it up. You have this bigger mesh pocket on the front. It will just about clamshell open. You can see all the different organization points you have there. I've got this middle organizer that also has a Velcro there. You can put a small holster here. Any of the Velcro organizers from Maxpedition will go on the back of this. And then the back part of it there has even more organization, another slip. This is when I'm going to move all my EDC stuff over to that I do have just sitting in my truck. It's just a what if, just in case kind of bag. There's a shoulder strap for it. I didn't pull it up. I didn't pull it out of the box earlier. I'll get that and put that on there. But this is what I'm going to be putting together for my EDC kit. And that will be a separate video as we pack this out and put this together. Right now, I just want to go over all the rest of the stuff that you can put in there. So, one other thing that you can do and is go with the haversack style EDC kit. Now, I'm probably going to include this somehow into my EDC, maybe just have it in the truck on the side, but this has just one pouch there, and then you have a flap here on the lid for some smaller things. I use this as my day bag when I go hiking. You can see I've got toilet paper and a red bandana in it there. But this is my day pack when I go hiking, just to carry a couple things with me. If we happen to sit down or something, I can sit down on this, keep everything nice. I've got some carabiners on there. Carabiners on there because I do, this goes over the mouth of a water bottle, and I'll usually just clip that water bottle to the strap here. You can see I've got that tied on with a kind of like a Prusik there, and then that just snaps on. I can carry a water bottle, but I will attach my water bottle to my Sawyer Mini in case I have to fill it up out there in the woods or something like that. So, but this is my kind of my day pack thing. Makes an excellent little day pack, but you may want to use something like this as your EDC, or include this into your EDC if you feel the need to have an EDC / go bag, get home bag. You could put this in your get home bag as just a smaller, lighter kit that you could use if you have to do some gathering, or if you really need to drop the weight, throw some essentials in this and go with it. This is the Coal Cracker Bushcraft haversack wax canvas. It's held up extremely well. I have a Maxpedition sling shoulder pad on there just for a little extra comfort. Great option right there. So that will be in my truck in some way. So, all right, I've kind of got this broken down here into different things. So I'm going to talk, where shall we start? Let's start with water. You saw this All Your Mini. This is pretty much going to be in there for me. I don't really want to make this too much of a survival deal, but I am going to have some survival stuff in there just because this is invaluable here. Now, you want something to put your water in. You want to be able to attach this to a water bottle or have the bag that comes with it so that you can squeeze that bag down into another carrying case. Something important. You might want to go with something like the canteen. This is the Maxpedition canteen and canteen case. It's just a plastic quart canteen. You can't really put it on a belt unless you put the molly straps on the back of it, but you could go with something like this. You could go with the aluminum bottle. Now this is double walled. You could not put this over a fire. You can't freeze this or anything like that. So I would suggest that if you're going to go with something like this, you would make it single wall. And that way you could heat it up and you could boil water if need be. And then you could drop this All Your Mini out. But you are going to want to have something that you could carry water in some way. So that's one option right there. So that kind of takes care of our water. Let's go ahead and get medical out of the way. You want to have a good pair of shears on you. Watch that camera, son. Don't play with the stuff. You want to have a good pair of shears on you, whether they're Raptor shears or whether they're like these cheaper shears. I don't even know. These aren't even a branded thing. This is just kind of like an Amazon kit deal. So I like to carry a ankle wrap. Put your heel here and you just wrap it around your ankle. I like to carry that, especially when I'm hiking. Both myself and my father-in-law have a bad habit of finding the holes. And so I like to have some type of wrap there. For that, in my larger case, I do have an ace bandage. So when I'm hiking, I do have a larger medical kit for that. But I do like to keep that ankle brace, ankle wrap there. Some oral rehydration salts are probably a good thing to have on hand. You could use things like liquid IV. This is just something I got in a little survival kit. This here is one pair of nitrile gloves. Keep some gloves on you at all times. You have your cravat or your triangle bandage. You can use this as a pressure bandage. You can use it to make a sling. It's got the pins inside it. You can use it to wrap around your head. I mean, to pack a wound. You can do all kinds of things with this right here. So make sure you have at least a triangular bandage on you. You probably should have something like an Israeli bandage for a pressure bandage, and I would definitely recommend having some type of tourniquet, preferably a tourniquet that you can do on yourself with one arm. That's going to be the windlass style, whether it's a cat tourniquet or a Sam tourniquet. Make sure you have one of those. Probably not the SWAT, the stretch, wrap, and tuck tourniquet. That's great for leg. That's good for small children. That's good for pets. But it's a little hard to do one-handed. So make sure you have something you can do one-handed. Make sure it's TCCC approved. Don't go with something like the Rats tourniquet or just rely on a belt or something like that. A belt is nothing more than a pressure bandage. It is not a tourniquet. You can suffice. You can get by. I know the people at the Boston Marathon, the bombing at the Boston Marathon, I know the guy made a bunch of homemade tourniquets and got the job done. You can do it, but carry a dedicated tool. Emergency blanket. You can get these in several kits. You can buy them by yourself. You can buy them in bulk on Amazon. They are cheap. you want to have some type of survival blanket, not just for you, but also for somebody else. You come across an accident, have a victim that's going into shock, you want a survival blanket. Not only that, it could also be a good shelter for you if you just happen to need it. Now, as far as a shelter goes, you could carry some large trash bags with you. You could carry a poncho with you, but have something along that line. I've got some extra gauze here. Very handy. You want it if you need to bandage up, if you need to pack a wound, you need to make a sling, you want to carry some extra gauze with you. The classic red bandana is great for making slings. You want to have something like that on you as well. And then we have just a small boo-boo kit right here. It's got some over-the-counter meds. It's got some bandages, some insect wipes. It's got some poison ivy, oak, and sumac stuff in there. A little bit of tape. Just a very basic first aid kit. You want to have something like that on hand as well. Coming off of the medical, let's go to personal hygiene. You're going to want some type of face mask. You never know when you're going to run into some smoke, some smog, who knows. So you want to have some type of face mask. This is my personal favorite. Comes from Salt Armor. Kind of makes you look like a rough and tumble Wild West guy, you know what I'm saying. So that's the Salt Armor face mask. It would do for smoke, something like that. A red bandana is great. Maybe you want to carry some N95 masks. That's good. Next up, I always seem to take a little bit of a flack for this, but I carry disposable toilet seat covers. Nasty, nasty public restrooms. So, disposable toilet seat covers. Perfect on hand. Especially when you got little kids, got to take them to the bathroom. You can always feel good about slapping one of these things down, setting them down on the toilet. You can buy these packs on Amazon. I think they come in like a 10-pack of these, and there's 10 of them in here. So, handy to have on hand. Maybe keep some Kleenex on hand. You want to take that. I've got a small hank. This is an RE hank. This has got our Mad Dog RE patch on it. This comes from rehanks.com. John Moss. Excellent, excellent dude. So, check that out. And then, depending on the size of your bag, obviously, this is all going to be depending on the bag size. So this is just some things to think about. I have a small beanie in there as well. Depending on the temperatures at night or whatever the season, you might want to carry something like that. A lot of heat is lost through the top of your head, so you want to have some type of head covering to keep that heat locked inside. This is a toothpick. You can open it up here, and you see it's got that there. I carry a titanium toothpick with me. This is just a stainless steel one, but it screws into the handle that way. Just goes on a keychain. Handy to have. You don't have to be searching for a wooden toothpick and clean your teeth out, whatever. So you can pick those up on Amazon as well. These are wipes. Now, these wet wipes are dehydrated, vacuum sealed. I call them dehydrated wipes, but they're vacuum sealed, and you really don't need a lot of water at all. You could just about spit on these things. Look how it's already starting to unfold there. You could just about spit on these things. Let me wring it out here and expand them. But it comes out, opens up to a nice size, and you got a pretty good little wet wipe there. So, very handy to have. Wipe your hands off. You happen to eat some barbecue while you're out. You can wipe it. You need something wet to clean your glasses off with or something like that. Just takes a little bit of water. You can pour it out of your water bottle. You can put your straw down into your water. Put your thumb over the top of the straw. Pick it up. Drop that down on these little wipes, and you have an instant wet wipe. Pick those up on Amazon. Dirt cheap. They come in like a bag of 200, 250. So definitely get you some of those. That covers your personal hygiene, your medical, your water. I like to have something to write on. This is a Write in the Rain pad that I have used so much that I have torn pages out and put them in different things. This is actually full. It's just kind of an example. This is a Maxpedition. This is the smaller journal cover. I've got an extra Sharpie in here. I love having Sharpies on me. Sharpies are great. Just an extra cheap ballpoint pen when you open it up on the inside. I have 2 more pens in there, and then another Write in the Rain pad. So get you something to write with, get you something to write on, pen, pencil, some form of writing utensil. Have that on hand, ready to go. Want to carry backup blades, right? You want to make sure that you have backup material. 1 is none, 2 is 1, right? So want to make sure. This is a little fixed blade that I received in another kit. This is Camilla's blade. It's got some wrench sizes on it. It's got some cutouts in the top right there. Just this tiny little sheath for it. I wouldn't really recommend going cheap with some of this. You can, since it's your backup stuff. You don't want to use the classic Dollarka, the Spyderco wannabe. You don't want to use something like that. Get you something that is high quality and good to use. You want something that's going to be good quality, because if your normal carry goes down and you have to rely on it, well, then you're going to want something quality. And what I've chosen most of the time to go in my pack is the good old classic Rat Model 1. This is an Oz 8 steel. You can tell this old warrior's been around the block a lot. I've carried this knife as my primary for several years, but it still is just a fantastic knife. And so a lot of times that rides in my bag, in my truck, just as an extra. You want to carry a good backup fixed blade. Maybe you want to go with a pocket fixed blade, something like this GMF1 from Giant Mouse. Y'all know my love for the Gerber strongarm. I'm going to have a Gerber strongarm on my bag. This is my original Gerber strongarm. It used to be a serrated edge, but that is long gone. I'm working on restoring this edge and getting it back to sharpened state. It's actually probably sharper than my EDC strongarm that I'm working with right now. As a matter of fact, they're about the same. So, but get you a good quality fixed blade to keep in your bag as well. Again, this goes on my EDC bag. I have another tan Gerber strongarm that I actually keep in my firefighting gear, just because these things are battle hardened. I've put these things through the ringer. If my life depends on a tool to get me out of something, I'm gonna rely on the Gerber strongarm. That's just, it is what it is. So get you a good knife, and you want to have some way to maintain that knife. I couldn't find my pocket stone anywhere, so I've got this. This is some type of sharpening stone wheel that I've had for years. I don't know where it came from. It's almost like a sharpening puck or whatever, but get you a stone. Do not get one of the pull-through sharpeners. You know those pencil sharpeners you stick in and you twist it and you get that nice little curlicue of the pencil, the wood coming off? That is exactly what you are doing to your knife blade when you use a pull-through sharpener. It ruins your knife blade. Do not use pull-through knife sharpeners. Get you a stone, learn how to use it. Coalcracker Bushcraft has a great video on this, but you can kind of see that gap there between the blade and the stone. See how I rotate the knife and that gap disappears, right? Like that. Then, once you find that angle, then you can begin to sharpen your knife. So, learn how to at least get a workable edge on your blades. Buy you a cheap knife to begin with that you can grind down on a stone. Get you a good pocket stone. Learn how to use it. Put that in your EDC. I have a professional knife sharpening setup, so most of the time my knives are good to go. But get you something to have. Keep that on hand. Multi-tools. Leatherman Surge. I do not carry a Leatherman Surge, believe it or not, in my EDC bag. I know that's shocking to some. My surges are generally there for my primary EDC. A good backup one, especially in a survival bag, is going to be the Leatherman Signal. It's got just the right amount of tools, things that you would need out in the wild. It's got great plier head on it, but it also has that ferrocerium rod on there. Yes, you can light a fire with it. I have done it on several occasions just for the fun of it. It does work. So you don't get a lot of strikes out of it, but in a survival situation, it'll last you for a little bit. You should have other fire lighting stuff as well, so that would be an extreme case backup, but you want to have something like that on there. So the Leatherman Signal is a good option. Most of the time, what rides in my EDC bag right now is the Gerber MP600 bladeless. I went with bladeless because I wanted the scissors. There we go. Sorry. I wanted the scissors because I love having a backup pair of scissors. And I really wanted to try Gerber's U-shank blade changer. This has got the rim grit in it. You can do some cutting with that and everything. So I really wanted to try that. So I went with the bladeless. It fits perfect in that 511 double pouch there. As a matter of fact, that's where these two ride right now, in that 511 pouch, but something's probably going to change with that. Probably going to have that triad admin pouch off the Condor put on the front of the Neatfreak and put these two in that there. So get you a good quality multi-tool to have there. Don't go with like a Sheffield and Ozark Trail, something like that. Get you a good quality one, because again, if your main goes down, you'll want good quality for the backup. You're already in a bad situation. If the main goes down, you don't want to be in a worse situation because the tools that you chose beforehand as your backup are subpar. I picked up a U-shank jigsaw set at Ace Hardware, and that rides in my EDC bag. Obviously, I haven't had a chance to use them, or I haven't needed to use them, but they're there in my EDC bag. I've got some metal blades, I've got some wood scroll blades, all-purpose blades, and then just regular wood blades there. And I also got a set of Bosch T-shank blades as well. That obviously is going to go into the Surge. These little kits that come with the Surge, you know how you got the saw in there, and then you have the file as well. These are handy to keep on hand. I've got several of these that have just come with me over the years. So get you some little way to keep the tools together. Moving on along, you want to have some type of cordage with you. This is kind of like a waxed fiber string here, and then obviously this is paracord. Have some type of cordage with you. You never know when it's going to come in handy. If you have a bigger bag, then you might want to put some larger rope in there, but at least 100 foot of paracord probably going to do you just fine. I don't have any here on the table, but zip ties or cable ties are really good things to have on hand as well. So get you some of that and have that in your bag. Let's move over to lighting now. There's different options here. I like having this snap-on card. This has got two different settings, a high and a low. It's magnetic, so it'll stick to the side of the vehicle or whatever. If you're working, you can angle it and you can put it there if you're trying to change a tire or whatever. It just runs off a couple AAA batteries. You can have some batteries on backup, on hand, and always good to have a hands-free light. Speaking of hands-free, you can go with a headlamp. I still haven't got me a good quality headlamp yet. This is just a Heart from Harbor Freight. These are actually pretty cool because they do take an 18650, and you can charge them with a USB. It's a USB-C rechargeable, so that's a pretty good option. If your normal carry is a good round heavy flashlight, there's this option where you can snap it in, and I just have this paracord bracelet clipped to the carrying strap of my bag, but you can snap this on and then have it on off to the side right there. I keep it small so it's more compact, and I can just extend it out when I need it, snap my flashlight into it. The 511 flashlight I have in the truck actually snaps into this perfectly, and I can wear that on the side pointing forward, and it just turns it into an impromptu headlamp. That's a couple options for lighting. Tools. You want to have some good tools on hand. In my vehicle, I carry multiple sets of sockets, wrenches, things of that nature. But I also have a dedicated sockets in my bag. Tire sizes, different things I'm going to run into. I don't need the 1 1/8" anymore. But when I get back into my F250, I will need that again. For filters and such. So you want to carry dedicated sizes, your normal sizes. You might want to slip that into your bag depending on the size. I carry a 1/2" battery operated impact, and then I have ratchets and things like that in my vehicle. If you don't have those, you might want to slip a ratchet into your vehicle. Have a 4-way in your vehicle with the right ends on it for your tire sizes. Something to keep in mind with that. If you have aftermarket rims and you have the splined lugs, you might want to try to find and order an extra lug socket to keep in your pack as well, in case your other one goes missing. That happens a lot, believe it or not. So keep that on hand. Extra tools. I've got a little set of Weehaw bits here. I've carried around in the past. The extender is actually in my drill that I keep here inside the house right now. But an extra, a good set of bits is always nice to have on hand. Of course, you could have the Leatherman bits or the Gerber bit card as well, but maybe a dedicated set is good to have. A small pry bar is nice to have on hand. This one actually came out of a man crate that my wife gave me a couple years back, and you had to use this to be able to get into the crate, but it's actually a pretty decent little pry tool. So I've kept it and held on to that and kept that on all my EDC bags, so it's really nice to have on hand. Allen key and Torx. Of course, this is just a Husky brand, obviously, but keep you a good set of those on hand. Always come in handy. This is somewhat of a pain to have because it's so springy and large. It's kind of hard to keep in a bag, but it is very, very handy for as a pickup tool. Get you a magnetic pickup tool as well, one of the extendable ones. Always good to have on hand. If you got camera equipment, you might want to make sure you have a place in your bag if you're doing some videoing or anything like that. This is just a remote for my phone. This is a phone clamp that extends, goes around the phone, such as what I'm using right now on my tripod. This is a selfie stick that you can screw that to, have your phone on there. So you might want to have something like that, and that leads me down to my next one is you want some way to charge all of your electronic stuff. I have some short cables. This is USB-C and and micro USB. These are handy to have, but it's also good to have a long cable as well. This is a 10-foot braided cable I got off Amazon. Works really well. Get you some battery backup. I've got 2 different ones right here. This is just a 10,000 milliamp. This one here is pretty small. It's only a 2,000 milliamp. But get you some type of battery packs. These are getting cheaper and cheaper on Amazon right now. You can get all different goodies on them. This just a basic 20-watt, 10,000 milliamp. It does a great job. Charge your cell phone twice. Charge your camera batteries, whatever. Good to have on hand. Flashlight batteries. This is the Maxpedition Volta. That pouch is on the front of my 511. This has got 8 CR123s in it for flashlights. 2 of these will make one 18650. Good batteries, good things to have on hand. Electronics, maybe, we still haven't got out of the storage age yet. The cloud is becoming more and more efficient. However, I have learned recently, don't always trust the cloud, because last Sunday had an issue where thankfully I was able to not use PowerPoint, but be able to pull my sermon up in Google Slides. But to begin with, my Google Drive wasn't working on the church computer. So it would have benefited me to have a USB thumb drive on hand with a fresh copy of my PowerPoint sermon on this right here. So we're still not out of that age yet. You still want to have that. If you use Bluetooth a lot, you might want to carry a backup Bluetooth device. These are just some cheap ones that we've had. They just go around the neck. They do magnetize together. So if you like having Bluetooth, maybe carry some backup Bluetooth with you. Pretty handy to have on hand. We talked about writing utensils with the pads there, but different options. I always like having a carpenter's pencil on hand, so they're cheap, easy to pick up. Maybe just a regular #2, extra ballpoint pens. Sharpies are really good things to have. They're great for marking up packages. If you're shipping, I also have a double-ended one right here. You can also wrap any ballpoint pen, any cylindrical object like this. It's nice and easy to just wrap some extra duct tape around it, to have duct tape on hand for repairs. If you're using a tourniquet, it is great to mark the time that you put that tourniquet on. That would be crucial information when you arrive at a trauma center, for them to know how long that tourniquet has been on. Also, if you're doing triage and you're checking the pulse on somebody and you got multiple victims, maybe you have a broken leg or something like that, and you find a pulse below the break, you can mark it with the Sharpie and then write the time there. Put an X and write the time. That lets paramedics, EMS know that, hey, I've got this break at 6:57. I found a pulse here. Good information to have. So there's a lot of uses for a Sharpie. Keep a Sharpie on hand. Getting into some more of the survival stuff, more than just the EDC. In the rules of 3, you can survive 3 seconds without hope. You know, those first crucial seconds in a bad situation are going to, it's going to set the pace for the rest of your time out there. So you want to have something to boost the spirits, to kind of pass the time with, something to keep your mind busy. Because if your mind starts wandering, you're going to get in trouble. I carry a harmonica. It's pretty fun to play. I'm not playing for you right now. I also have a pack of Maxpedition playing cards. They are waterproof, but just a regular set of playing cards works well too. But I keep the Maxpedition ones on hand because they are waterproof. So the Maxpedition Tactical Field Deck, you can still find these on eBay. They are getting harder and harder to find, so I would suggest going ahead and picking some of these up. Get you something to do. Keep your mind off. This is hand sanitizer. It's just in a little spritzer bottle. That should have gone with personal hygiene, but it was set over here instead of right here. We talked about the poncho earlier. You changing a tire on the roadside. If you're in good clothes, don't need to get wet, throw a poncho on. If not, man up, get out there, change the tire. You can throw this over your leather seats if you need to, or whatever. But you can also, this is 50 inch by 80 inch. You can make a pretty decent shelter out of it if you had to. It wouldn't hold up very long, but that's not a bad thing to have on hand. Of course, we talked about the emergency blankets. And hot hands. Not only will these keep you warm, keep your hands warm, you can put them in your shirt pockets to kind of keep your chest warm. You can hug them close to you. You can hold them on. There's a lot you can do with these. That also goes to that idea of morale in your mind, being able to have some type of warmth. You want multiple ways to be able to light fires. This is just your classic Bic lighter, but waterproof matches is also a good thing to have on hand. There are multiple whistles that you can get. These are just flat whistles. These here have pocket clips on them. They are extremely loud and high-pitched. Might be a good idea to have one of those on as a signaling device. Speaking of signals, Essie makes these wonderful cards. You can get them all over the place. That's got how to mark out ground-to-air distress signals, short-term survival tips, some measurements and such on it. So, good thing to have on hand. Doesn't take up a lot of room. You might even stick that inside your wallet. If you are a concealed carrier, extra ammo. Obviously not just 2 rounds, but extra ammo. Compass. Engineer's compass. This is just a very cheap one, but get you a good compass to have on hand. Don't always rely upon the GPS on your cell phone. Might want to carry some paper maps in the truck. We're coming down, getting down to the end of this, so hang with me. I know we're approaching the 40-minute mark here, or later. This is a 4-liter Sea to Summit waterproof bag or water-resistant bag. It might be something good to have in your survival bag if you're going to build a survival bag, depending on the size of the kit that you're building. Always good to have something extra, just an extra little bag for a gathering, an extra thing to sit on, just an extra bag to keep trash in. I mean, just always nice to have something little extra right there. Now, well, depending on the size of your bag, you might even go with a fishing pole. This was something that was given to me a while ago. I haven't ever used this thing, but it does extend out. And then you can screw that right on there. And you have a little micro fishing pole. You'd be able to catch you some brim with that pretty easily. Some little pumpkin seed brim or something like that. Something to throw over a campfire and at least have some good food. So you can see it's about yay big, not very fat, and then just a really small reel, just like any other spinning reel. The handle will fold up on it. So if you got a big enough kit, survival, and you want to do a survival kit, you might look into something like that. They are pretty cheap. I don't know how well they'll hold up. I've never actually cast that into the water, so but that is kind of an option. Now I want to talk about kits. Just little extra things to throw in. This is a North American Rescue scissor leash. You may want to have something like this for important items that you don't want to lose. Your flashlight, your map, whatever. In a survival situation, you clip this to you and it's always there. You're not going to lose it. Along with carabiners, these are great things to have. This is actually from County Com. It's just a plastic vial. You could keep waterproof stuff inside it. Important to have in a survival situation. If you have those little mini Ziploc bags, you could put some seasonings, some salt, some pepper, some garlic powder, some different stuff, and you could stuff those down in there. Or it'd also be good for your medicines. If you have medicines that you have to survive, put them inside that right there in those little Ziploc bags. And like your ibuprofens, your Tylenols. And in a survival situation, if you go down, having those 800 milligram of ibuprofen would be nice to have, you know what I mean. This here is just a small Altoid tin. I have it marked. You see it says extras on there. And indeed it does just have extras. This is a tube of chapstick. This is a thumb drive that I did not use, that I should have. Extra AAA battery. And a Bic lighter. I was about to say I need to replace my Bic lighter. It's not working very well. But that's just something extra to have. And it packs up really well, really small, into an Altoid tin. You can get these in various shapes and sizes. This is a vertical Altoid tin. These little Cracker Barrel mints. This is my fix kit. What I have in here is a little tiny pair of folding scissors. I have a 30-06 shell wrapped with some thread. I have a sealed tube of super glue in case I have to use it for medicinal purposes. And then there's a larger needle in there that it would be useful for stitching up either myself or stitching up clothing, stitching up shelter, whatever the case. I have a small kit here that I can use as a fix-it kit. This is an old Zeus ring from Groove Life, but this little tin would make a great little tin, again, to maybe put some medicines in, or make a little fix-it kit with some needles and thread, something of that nature. Be good to have just anything like that. The little 711L ratchets that come from Amazon come in a very nice little tin. Again, sewing kit, medicines. You keep the little 711 ratchet in it, whatever. Great little kit to have. Good little tins. Look into something like that. This is a plastic box that I got some broadheads in from Amazon when I tested those one time. And in this, I have a chapstick tube that has some electrical tape in it, some stormproof matches, some cotton swabs. So it's like a little survival kit. A Milwaukee tape measure. This is just a 6-foot tape measure. A 1/2-inch adapter, or excuse me, 3/8 adapter to go in a 1/4-inch drill. This is the bit driver, or bolt driver is what I'm trying to say, from Vital Carry. Very, very handy little thing. This is just a Titan ratchet that I got from O'Reilly's. I have a Leatherman bit extender. You can use the Leatherman bits or a regular 1/4-inch bit in that. This is where I keep my extra 711L ratchet. And there, that can go into my Leatherman Surge, Leatherman Signal, any Leatherman that's got the bits, the bit driver, and then I have a spare Leatherman bit card resting in here. So, that is kind of my suggestions for building out an EDC kit. Just some of the items that you can put in there. I recognize this is a super long video. I'm going to try to shave it down some in the editing process. I know there were several pauses and breaks there that I can cut out. Try to shave some seconds off of it, but generally that's it as far as like an EDC/survival bag. This is not really a full-on get-home bag. There are other things you might want to have in there for that, although a lot of these items would be very nice to have in that get-home bag. But this is just some things to think about for EDC. I hope y'all enjoyed it. If you made it this far, man, I thank you so much. I appreciate you sticking with me this long. If you liked the video, like it, subscribe to the channel. Stay tuned as we pack out my EDC bag. I'm going to go through all this, decide what I want to put in there, and then we'll back the camera up a little bit, and I'll stand up and we'll pack it, and that'll be that. So, all right. Like, subscribe, go check us out on Facebook, Mad Dog EDC. Mad Dog out.